Throughout the annals of human history, there has always been something about ghost stories that grips the human imagination, whether whispered around firelight in ancient camps or retold in dimly lit Victorian drawing rooms. Tales of lingering spirits, restless souls, and haunted places have both terrified and fascinated us for millennia. These stories endure not just because of their capacity to shock or chill, but because they serve as cultural touchstones, reflecting fears, hopes, and unresolved histories of their times. Ghosts become more than just apparitions. They are symbols of trauma, injustice, and remembrance. Before we dive into the shadows of time and explore the eeriest spirits that have haunted our historical past, don't forget to subscribe to History, Facts, and Mysteries. We're your gateway into the strange, the mysterious, and the untold sides of human history. Every week we uncover hidden truths, legends, and facts that defy what you thought you knew about the world. So click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Number 10. The Ghost Ship of the Baltic. On January 26, 1841, a British ship called the Lively was sailing through the Baltic when it struck an underwater rock and began to sink. As the crew rowed themselves away from the wreckage, they saw something that made their blood run cold. A ghostly white ship sailed past them. It appeared to be a massive schooner with red sails and was flying a green light at the stern. To this day, nobody knows what this strange ship was or where it came from, but the crew of the Lively were never the same after their encounter. They claimed that every single night they would see the ghostly schooner sailing past their ship, but only from the corner of their eye. Then, just as quickly as it would appear, it would vanish. One by one, each of the men went insane, either jumping into the sea or stabbing themselves with knives until finally the captain also lost his mind. When help arrived, all they found was a diary detailing the horrors the crew had faced. Some believe the crew of the Lively encountered a ghost ship from another dimension or a parallel universe, while others claim it was simply a hallucination brought on by prolonged exposure to the freezing temperatures. Whatever the truth may be, the haunting tale of the ghost ship has remained a popular legend among sailors ever since. Number 9. The Ghost Train of the Caransebeș. In September of 1968, residents near the town of Caransebeș in Romania heard the sound of a train whistle echoing through the night. Soon, the spectral glow of a steam engine could be seen moving along the tracks, followed by a string of carriages carrying what looked like passengers from another era. Those who saw the ghost train described it as being made up of 2 engines and 4 carriages, pulled by horses instead of steam. People were so frightened by the apparition that they fled in terror, although some brave souls followed the glowing train into the distance. And according to their reports, it seemed to be heading toward the local train station. Despite the fact that nobody boarded or disembarked the train, it stayed on the tracks for hours before vanishing without a trace. The most terrifying part was that nobody reported seeing the ghost train again until October 1970. It appeared once more, but this time it didn't move. It stayed on the tracks for 3 days, not blowing its whistle or doing anything out of the ordinary. Then, just as suddenly as it arrived, it disappeared. Many believe the ghost train is the spirit of a train that exploded in the area many years ago. Others say it's the specter of an abandoned railway that still runs through the city. Number 8. The Ghosts of Pompeii. The ancient Roman city of Pompeii was buried in ashen pumice during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Archaeologists have discovered incredibly well-preserved mummies of people and animals, frozen as if they were living their everyday lives when the volcano erupted. But new evidence suggests there may be ghosts trapped in the city as well. Scientists from the National Institute of Nuclear Physics used special equipment to scan underground chambers in Pompeii. Their goal was to discover hidden rooms that could contain priceless artifacts. But instead, they picked up mysterious signals coming from inside the walls. When they investigated further, they found voids in the shape of human bodies. This could mean that the spirits of Pompeii are trapped within the city's foundations, unable to find peace even in death. But why? According to legend, the ghosts of Pompeii are furious about how they died. Some say they were punished by the gods for the sins they committed while alive, while others claim they're simply victims of circumstance. Whatever the truth may be, it seems that some spirits are just too angry to rest in peace. Number 7. The Ghost Bride. In Victorian England, it was common for wealthy families to hold lavish balls where young ladies would be presented to society in hopes of finding a good husband. But not every romance was as picture-perfect as it seemed. One such case was that of Helen Viola Last, a beautiful young woman who captured the attention of Lord William Russell. The two became engaged to be married, but their happiness was short-lived. On the night of her wedding, Helen became hysterical and refused to cooperate. She wouldn't change into her wedding dress or allow the ceremony to continue. Her horrified fiancé and family eventually canceled the wedding and locked her in her room for the night. The next morning, they found her dead in bed from an unknown cause. Although no foul play was suspected, some say the ghost of Helen still wanders the halls of her family's home, searching for the groom she never had. Every October, Visitors report hearing the sound of a woman's voice singing a mournful song, and on rare occasions, they even catch a glimpse of a pale, ethereal figure dressed in a flowing white gown. Could this be the ghost bride searching for her one true love? Or is there another explanation for these spooky sightings? Number 6. The Ghost of Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is one of the most famous writers in history, but not much is known about his personal life. What we do know comes from the records of the time, which tell tales of a man who led a rather ordinary existence for someone with such an extraordinary talent. He was born and raised in Stratford-upon-Avon and spent most of his life there, writing plays and sonnets that are still performed and enjoyed today. But some say the bard's spirit still lingers in his hometown, watching over those who come to pay tribute to him. Visitors to Stratford-upon-Avon have reported seeing a ghostly figure walking the streets, which is said to be the ghost of Shakespeare himself. Some say the apparition appears only to those who are worthy, while others claim anyone can witness the spectacle if they wander around town at night. But perhaps the most compelling evidence of Shakespeare's ghost comes from those who live in his former home. According to local legend, the playwright's spirit still resides in the house, and he can often be heard pacing the floor or writing at his desk. Number 5. The Ghost Fleet of Amsterdam. For centuries, Amsterdam was a major hub for trade and commerce. Its strategic location in Europe made it the perfect place to buy and sell goods from all over the world. But not all businesses were above board. In 1675, a group of smugglers used a canal in Amsterdam to unload a cargo of illicit goods. But they were unaware that the police were waiting for them. A chase ensued, but the smugglers managed to escape down a narrow tunnel. That's where things took a turn for the worse. As they rounded a sharp bend, the tunnel collapsed, trapping them deep beneath the ground. Today, visitors to Amsterdam can explore the remains of the tunnel and see the spot where the smugglers met their demise. But some say the spirits of the men are still trapped inside, unable to find peace even in death. Legend has it that on foggy nights, visitors can hear the sound of footsteps echoing through the tunnel, and sometimes they even catch a glimpse of shadowy figures moving just beyond their sight. Could these be the restless ghosts of the smugglers forever doomed to wander their watery grave? Number 4. The Ghost of Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is one of the most famous ghosts in history, but her story is shrouded in mystery and folklore. What we know about her comes from a combination of historical records and urban legends, and even those sources are often contradictory or unreliable. According to one version of the tale, Bloody Mary was a young girl who lived in the 17th century. She was the daughter of a wealthy family and was known for her beauty and charm, but she was also very vain and obsessed with her looks. She consulted with a witch doctor about how to stay young forever, but the potion he gave her turned her skin a sickly green color and caused her eyes to turn black. Horrified, she tried to scrub the potion off her skin, but it was no use. She was trapped in her hideous form forever. Mary's family locked her in a tower to hide her from the world, but she eventually escaped and went on a rampage, killing anyone who had been unkind to her. Eventually, she was captured and executed, but her ghost is said to roam the earth, seeking revenge on those who have wronged her. No. 3. The Ghosts of Alcatraz. Alcatraz Island was once home to one of the most infamous prisons in the world. The prison was built in the 19th century and housed some of America's most dangerous criminals. But it wasn't just the inmates who were locked up there. The prison was also home to a number of ghosts. According to legend, the island is cursed and the spirits of those who have died there refuse to rest in peace. One of the most famous ghosts is that of Al Capone, the notorious mob boss. Capone was one of the first inmates sent to Alcatraz, and he was said to be so scared of the island's curse that he begged to be transferred elsewhere. But his request was denied, and he served out his sentence at Alcatraz. Some say his spirit still haunts the prison, looking for a way to escape. Other ghosts include that of a Native American woman named Lulu, and that of a young boy who drowned in the island's waters. Visitors to Alcatraz have reported seeing shadowy figures and hearing disembodied voices and footsteps. Could these be the restless ghosts of Alcatraz seeking to make their presence felt? Number 2. The Ghost of Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers was a legendary comedian and actor who starred in some of the most iconic films of the 20th century. But behind his comedic genius, there was a tortured soul who was often haunted by his own demons. Sellers was known for being a perfectionist, and he would often spend hours agonizing over his performances. He was also very insecure and would frequently worry that he was not funny enough. These insecurities led him to suffer from anxiety and depression throughout his career. But his problems did not end there. Sellers had a turbulent personal life and his relationships often ended in disaster. He was married 4 times and his affairs were legendary. But none of his marriages lasted and he was never able to maintain a lasting relationship. His personal life was a constant source of pain and torment for him. So what happened to his body after he passed away? Well, his widow and children decided to cremate him and scatter his ashes in a private ceremony. No public memorial service was held, and no one knows exactly where his remains were scattered. Some say his spirit still wanders the earth, searching for the comedy club where he can make one last stand-up routine. Others say he's found peace and is finally able to rest in whatever afterlife awaits comedians. Number 1. The Ghost of Anne Boleyn, England's most famous phantom. Anne Boleyn's story is one of ambition, betrayal, and tragic death. And perhaps it's no surprise that her spirit is said to roam the ancient walls of the Tower of London where she was executed in 1536. Married to Henry VIII, Anne was the second wife of the king and the mother of Queen Elizabeth I. But her failure to produce a male heir, coupled with court intrigue, led to her downfall. Beheaded on charges of treason, adultery, and incest, many of which are now believed to have been fabricated, Anne's legacy has never truly faded. Her ghost is reportedly seen near the spot of her execution, dressed in white or sometimes even carrying her own head. Witnesses over the centuries have claimed to see her wandering the tower's dark corridors or standing silently in the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, where she is buried. Her spectral presence is often linked with feelings of sorrow and unease, as if the walls themselves remember the injustice of her death. The story of Anne Boleyn's ghost serves not only as a chilling legend but as a somber reminder of the brutal politics of Tudor England and the human costs behind the throne. If you're fascinated by history's shadows, ancient mysteries, and the eerie echoes of forgotten times, don't forget to subscribe to History, Facts, and Mysteries. We'll continue exploring the hidden corners of the past, where truth and legend entwine, revealing the stories that still haunt us today.